From the studios here at CATV6 and RobinHoodRadio.com, welcome once again to Simply Sports. My name is Andy Williams. Episode 90 of this wild and crazy adventure here on television. Yes, I can't believe that being on TV, I am 90 episodes old. And speaking of which, this will be the final show that you see me at 34 years old. Because the next time you see me next week, I will be 35 years old. So, happy birthday to me. Let me be the first, if I'm not already the first, then maybe the second, to wish everybody a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving. I hope that you and your families have a very, once again, happy and healthy Thanksgiving. From me to you. And also, too, I guess there's going to be a huge snowstorm, they're saying, on Sunday into Monday. Of course, it never fails. It always snows on my birthday. Just about every single year. And I don't know why. But anyway. Again, we're not here to talk about the weather. We're here to talk about sports. So, we don't have any local stuff to go over today. We're going to stay basically with the mainstream, and we're going to stay with either college or, thank you, with college and the pros. We're going to start in the NBA. Milwaukee, they lead the East, I believe at a 14-3 record. Oh, by the way, before I forget, if you want to come live with me and talk sports with me, the number 860-824-4200, 860-824-4200 is how you get into the studio live and we talk sports. You ask questions, I hopefully answer them, and we debate. So, the offer is always on the table. Milwaukee is out front in the East with 3 losses, but here's the thing about the NBA Eastern Conference. Nobody is talking about the NBA defending champion Toronto Raptors. Nobody. Not a soul. The Toronto Raptors right now are 12-4. Pascal Siakam is now the MVP on that team. And this team without Kawhi Leonard, you would figure, is sunk. They are done, kaput. But yet this scrappy team with this very good defense find themselves 12-4, and they find themselves a game and a half back of Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference. I just thought that I would bring that to your attention because nobody on the mainstream markets and nobody in the mainstream media is even looking at the Toronto Raptors right now. But lo and behold, I just discovered that, so I figured I would bring that to everyone's attention. And the reason why I brought that to your attention is because they played the Philadelphia 76ers tonight, or the other night. My pick, Philly, to come out of the East and represent the East in the NBA Finals. They lost to Toronto a couple nights ago. They lost by 5 on the road. Toronto probably the best, if not the best home team in the NBA. What is up? World famous. Lindsay, love you. Joel Embiid, 32 minutes, And he looked exactly like I would play in an NBA game. 13 rebounds, 6 assists. Like you said, 32 points, 0 points in 32 minutes. 0 for 11. I didn't see him drive to the hoop. I didn't see him, be aggressive to the tin. I didn't see, there's no aggression whatsoever. And this was his first visit back to Toronto since that infamous Game 7 when Kawhi Leonard hit that dagger and Joel Embiid left the court crying. He was crying because he gave everything he could to win that game. And it was all for naught. And then he turns around. This is his first visit back, and he comes back with a big, fat goose egg. I think I could have scored more points than Joel Embiid in 32 minutes in an NBA game. In fact, probably anybody could. He was taking fall-away shots. He was, pulling up from 25, 30 feet out. I mean, come on. God bless you. But Joel Embiid needs to be more aggressive. And Brett Brown, the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, for the love of God, please coach. And coach your team. He's a good coach. But so far this year, and during the playoffs last season, his coaching skills have been poor at best. And he better turn it around, or else he's going to find himself in the unemployment line. Out west, the Lakers are still the best team in the NBA at 15-2. Clippers not far behind at 13-5. I want to talk for a moment, if I could, about the Lakers. The Lakers, yeah, they have the best team. LeBron James is probably having the best season of his, 18-year career? 17? He's averaging 25 points. He's averaging practically a triple-double a game at his age, which is absolutely unbelievable. And you have Anthony Davis, a great wingman to LeBron, putting up huge numbers. Defensively, they're starting to turn it around. But this 15-2 record that the Lakers are sporting right now is very deceiving. Now, why do I say that? Well, look at it this way. Against winning teams, just take teams that are over 500 right now. And then out of the 17 games that they've played, they've only played 5 teams that are over 500. They're 3-2. They're undefeated the rest of the way at 12-0. So yes, they are taking care of the teams that they should beat. And yeah, LeBron James is putting up big numbers. However, you can only put up big numbers so long when you play against the Thunder and Chicago and Sacramento and, these sub-500 teams that aren't going to make the playoffs under any circumstances whatsoever. Wait till you get into the meat and potatoes part of your schedule, when you got to start playing the Jazz on a consistent basis, when you have to start playing Houston on a consistent basis, when you have to play the Clippers on a consistent basis, when you have to come east and play Milwaukee and Toronto and Boston and Philly. Let's see him put up those big numbers then. Now, there's no doubt that the Lakers are going to be right there, and they're going to be one of the top 3 seeds. But don't let that 15-2 record fool you. It's very, very suspicious to me. I don't want it to fool you. He's done this, the Lakers have done this all against sub-500 teams. The Clippers' 13-5 record that they have right now, these are all against really good teams. That's the record I'm looking at. Not the 15-2 against the sub-500 teams. I'm looking at the 13-5 against the winning teams. So, something to keep in mind in the NBA. You know, as we head toward the holiday season, when the NBA really starts to rev up. College basketball last night. Where are these teams coming from? First, you had the University of Evansville, from Evansville, Indiana, going to Lexington and beat #1 Kentucky. Last night, in Cameron Indoor Stadium at Duke, the #1 team in the nation loses in overtime to Stephen F. Austin. Does anybody want to be #1 this year? It doesn't look like it. And I love the fact that these teams can dog it in the first, 6 to 10 games before they reach their conference schedule. It's just, I have no words, really. Another huge upset in the NBA, or in college basketball, excuse me. So now who's #1? Does anybody have an answer for me? Who's going to be the next #1 team in college basketball? And quite frankly, you could pick your name out of about 6 teams right now. That's how wide open college basketball is. I'll tell you right now, it's not the UConn Huskies. UConn lost a heartbreaker to Xavier in the Charleston Classic. They're 4-2 right now. They're back in the Big East. The play's got to get better. The guard play has to get better. They got to stop dribbling the ball so much. They got to make the extra pass, and they got to get shots up, if they're even going to come close to the tournament this year. So let's keep that in mind. Wrestling. Did anybody get a chance to watch Survivor Series? From NXT TakeOver to Survivor Series. 2 thumbs up. Phenomenal. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. From War Games on Saturday to the Survivor Series, the actual pay-per-view on Sunday. when NXT stuck the flag in the ground, beating both Raw and SmackDown. And now, Seth Rollins called out the entire locker room. You know a heel turn's coming. He called out CM Punk again. I'm just saying, get ready for Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. Even though CM Punk and Vince McMahon are blatantly denying that there's going to be a match between the two of them at WrestleMania, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. CM Punk blatantly denies that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I believe that. Do I believe that he's not going to be at WrestleMania? No. He's going to be there. He's going to face Seth Rollins. I think he'll work a match or two, but that's about it. College football. And I see my good friend, the Unbalanced Messiah, Chris Dozer, is watching right now. He knows I love this part, and he loves this part too, because we watch Bad Beats together on college football and college football spreads. I went 3-2 this week, improving the record to 40-25. I am 61.5% correct. I'm here to make money for you. Do not forget that. And now my big five. You know how much I love Boise State. Boise State did good for me last week. Boise State is only a 13.5 point favorite against Colorado State. I will gladly lay 13.5 to a 4-7 Colorado State team all day long. Appalachian State, even though they didn't cover against Texas State, they're only laying 12.5 to a 5-6 Troy. Again, I will be more than happy to lay 12.5 to Troy for Appalachian State. The game. The big game. Well, it's not really a big game anymore because it's lost some of its luster because Ohio State permanently owns Michigan. But Ohio State traveling to Michigan. Ohio State is an 8.5 point favorite. This is a tough game. However, I will lay the 8.5 against Michigan. Even though Ohio State is on the road, I will take Ohio State laying the 8.5. Call me crazy, but I think it's going to happen. The Iron Bowl. Alabama traveling to Auburn. Alabama is favored by 3.5. Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday will mark the end of Alabama. It will be over for the Crimson Tide. There will be no national championship this year for all you Crimson Tide fans. There will be no college football playoff for you Crimson Tide fans. 2 words. War Eagle. Give me Auburn. I will gladly take the 3.5, and Auburn is going to win this game outright. Wisconsin going to Minnesota. Wisconsin's strangely favored by 3 in this game at Minnesota. It's going to be a close game, yes. But I will take the points here. Minnesota at home. I will take the 3 points. Not sure which way this game's going to end up, but it will be close. But give me the points here with +3. So those are my 5 big picks. Okay, wrapping up the show, NFL. Oh, hey, and I got 10 minutes. Cool. I can cover my topics. New England Patriots beat the Dallas Cowboys 13-9. The rain was blowing sideways. It was awful outside. And the coaching for the Dallas Cowboys was even worse than the weather at Gillette. Let me just say this, and this is coming from a Dallas Cowboys fan. And this is coming from somebody who has loved the Dallas Cowboys since 1989, when Troy Aikman first came into the league. Fire Jason Garrett, for the love of God. Get rid of him. And get rid of that offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. He's terrible. They're inside the 10 with 6 minutes to go, down by a touchdown. It is 4th and 7. If you don't get it, you have the Patriots pinned back behind the 10 and a chance to get the ball back with good field position. If you kick the field goal, you might not see the ball again. And then, most likely, you're going to have to drive the length of the field to try to win the game. And they only established one drive the entire game, and that was it. So what do? They kick the 3. Now, granted, those 2 tripping penalties are absolutely false, absolutely ridiculous on the Cowboys. And that didn't really help matters, but that's no excuse. No excuse whatsoever. You had an opportunity to win the football game, and the coaches could not come through. Once again, Jason Garrett does not win a big game. Kellen Moore cannot coach that talent out of a wet paper bag. Jerry Jones came out and put the entire coaching staff on notice. And then he comes out on his radio show yesterday and says the following: there will be no coaching changes until the end of the season. Okay. Jerry, let me explain something. Your team is 6-5. You are grossly underachieving. Yes, you lead the division by a game, technically 2, because your team is undefeated in the division. But you have a schedule coming up, which is not easy. The Eagles, who are a game behind you, have a cakewalk of a schedule where most likely they're going to win 4 of their next 5. And if they don't, something is horribly wrong. Something needs to be done, and something needs to be done now. And if they don't beat the Bills on Thursday, I don't know what to say. San Francisco 49ers, they're for real. And I'm sorry, there's no more excuses for Aaron Rodgers. What do you need, a perfect storm in order to win a football game now, Aaron Rodgers? Come on. Stop blaming other people. The buck stops with you. You threw for what, 110 yards? I've seen better high school quarterbacks with better passer ratings than you on Sunday night. No excuses. That was a pathetic game. The Niners absolutely blew the doors off of you. Speaking of teams that are for real, anybody see that Baltimore game Monday night? My goodness. Lamar Jackson, 5 passing touchdowns. He only had to throw the ball 20 times. Threw for 5 touchdowns. Not one quarterback on Monday Night Football in their debut Monday Night Football game can say that. Lamar Jackson can. 3 letters for Lamar Jackson. MVP. Moving to my picks. 9-4 were my picks last week, improving my record to 110, 64-1. If you're scoring at home, that is a 629 winning percentage. That means I'm winning just about 63% of my games against the money line. I'm here to make you money. So, we're going to start on Thanksgiving. Chicago traveling to Detroit. The Chicago defense is going to absolutely destroy Detroit. Chicago's offense is not good, but neither is Detroit's. Chicago wins that game handily. Buffalo at Dallas. It's must-win time for Dallas now, from here on in. I'm picking Dallas to win this game. I'm very hesitant to, but I think that Dallas is going to come through at home against a Bills team that is not very good on the road. Dallas in a close one. The Saints against Atlanta. I think the Saints are going to bounce back after their embarrassing loss against the Falcons the last time they played them. New Orleans wins big here. The Jets versus Cincinnati. Look, all I'm hearing right now is that the Jets are going to win out and they're going to make the playoffs. Okay, look, I'm going to concede this game. I'm going to concede the next game. That'll put them at 6-7. Who do they play in 3 weeks? Oh, yeah, they play Baltimore. They're not going to beat Baltimore. So get that notion out of your head that they're going to run the table and make the playoffs. It's done. The Jets will beat Cincinnati, though. So, picking the Jets here. Tennessee versus Indianapolis in an AFC South battle, Indianapolis wins that game. Philadelphia traveling to Miami. Philadelphia wins that game handily. Green Bay against the Giants. Green Bay bounces back. Cleveland traveling to Pittsburgh. Who is starting for Pittsburgh right now? Is it Duck Hodges? Is the new quarterback? Yeah. Cleveland's going to win this game handily. Washington traveling to Carolina. I see Carolina winning that game. Tampa Bay against Jacksonville. Who really cares about this game? Jacksonville wins this game. San Francisco to Baltimore. Don't be shocked if this game gets flexed. I'm going to pick San Francisco in this game. I think the defense is going to reign supreme. Rams traveling to Arizona. The Rams win that game. Chargers traveling to Denver. Chargers win that game. Oakland to Kansas City. Kansas City wins. New England traveling to Houston. Upset alert. Houston winning that game. Finally, Monday Night Football. Minnesota at Seattle. On my birthday, Seattle wins that game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to Simply Sports on this day before Thanksgiving. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Do not forget, I am on YouTube, I'm on Facebook Live, I am on the rebroadcast at 7 and 11 o'clock on CATV6, and for Michael Flint, Marshall Miles, and Brian Oler, thank you very much for tuning in to Simply Sports. Happy Thanksgiving, and 1, 4, 3.